Hello, friends. Welcome to Youth Rising. I am Lindsay Law, a certified youth life coach. And today we are going to talk a little bit about the brain. And we're going to learn about something called the motivational triad. Okay, it's a big phrase, but basically it just means the three things that the brain really wants. It's trying to keep us alive and safe. And these three things were super helpful in our caveman days when we were running away from tigers and trying to find food to eat. Now, in our modern day life, when our physical needs are much easier to meet, these three things aren't always helpful. Nothing's really gone wrong in the way you're thinking or the way you're feeling. Your brain's just trying to keep you alive and protect you. And once you recognize that although your brain is trying to keep you alive and safe, it's not always helpful. And you can say, thanks, brain. I see what you're trying to do. Not helpful right now. We'll chat later. Okay, so the first thing is our brains want to seek pleasure or find fun. Now you're thinking, well, yeah, that's awesome, of course. But I'm going to show you an example of how this can get us into trouble. We show up at a party and there's a whole ton of sweets and nice things to eat. Our brain is like, wow, yeah, sugar. We could end up eating like a whole tray of donuts, which in the end is going to make us feel sick and not help us to be healthy. Pleasure in the moment is going to keep us from happiness later. And our brain, because it's seeking for pleasure, doesn't always get that. Your brain is going to seek pleasure. It's going to want to stay on your phone. It's going to want to stay up late. And it's okay that this is what your brain's doing. It was designed to do this to keep you safe. But let's recognize it for when it's not helpful. Okay, the second thing that our brain is always trying to do is avoid pain. And this can look like avoiding hard work or avoiding uncomfortable emotions. So in the example of hard work, like let's say you want to earn some money to buy yourself a new bike or a new phone. The work required to earn that money, your brain is not going to want to do. Work is seen as pain. And so we just need to notice that our brain is going to try and get out of doing that work that's going to get us the things that we want. When it comes to uncomfortable emotions, like let's say meeting a new person or making some friends, our brain doesn't want to have that uncomfortable emotion of feeling nervous or being scared that we won't know what to say. And so our brain's like, well, just don't go over and say hi. Just stay here. It's safe here. It's safe here. But unfortunately, that keeps us from building relationships, creating friendships, and having a better life. Okay, the third thing that our brain is trying really hard to do is be efficient. It does not want to put extra energy into anything happening. So that means that when we have a thought and then we have it again and again, our brain's like, oh, this is a repeating thought. Let's just file that away so it just happens automatically. When this thing happens, this thought comes. It's an efficient pattern. We don't need to think about it again. Unfortunately, that sometimes these thoughts that are stored away and these beliefs that are stored away are not helpful and they're not true. And so we need to just notice that that's what our brain's doing. It's trying to be efficient. We can choose to put the work in to creating different thoughts and new thoughts that are more helpful for us. And again, with all of these three tendencies of our brain, it's not a problem. There's nothing wrong with you. It's just the way our brains were designed. And when we know about it and we embrace it, we can use these ideas to our advantage. So speaking of using these to our advantage, let's brainstorm some ideas about how that could work. So if you know your brain seeks fun, then maybe when there's an activity you need to do that maybe requires some work, you figure out how to put fun into it so that your brain has an easier time going to that activity. Our brain wants to avoid pain. Knowing that, we can actually practice putting ourselves in uncomfortable situations. You can teach your brain that pain is not going to hurt you, that you're going to be okay. You're not going to die. So one way I've been doing this is I have been jumping into cold water and trying to stay there for a minute and stay nice and calm. And that helps my brain know that sometimes I'm going to choose discomfort and I'm not really in danger. It's going to be okay. Not everyone likes jumping in cold water, but maybe you can think of another idea. And please share it in the comments. I would love to know. And the other thing is our brain loves to be efficient. So the thing we can use that to our advantage is that if there's a thought that we want our brain to believe and think, we can repeat it over and over and over, and then our brain will file that away in an efficient way so that it will repeat automatically. So let's say you want to begin believing that you're amazing, that you're just amazing. Put it up on your mirror. Put a reminder on your phone. Write it on your notepad or in your journal every day. Use the Think Up app to remind you every day you are awesome. And if that's something you want to believe and you're ready to believe it, then repeating it more and more will increase the chances that that thought is going to come to you automatically. When you do that awesome jump on your bike, that thought's going to be like, you're awesome. And it's just going to come in automatically. So knowing about our brain and knowing its tendencies doesn't have to be a bad thing. It can be something we use to make our lives better. If you appreciated this video and found it helpful, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. And if you want to know how to work with me more so that you can use your brain more to your advantage and create an awesome life that you feel awesome about, look in the description below and see how you can work with me.